You have been trying so hard for so long. You have been visualizing, affirming, repeating words into the mirror, writing things down in notebooks, setting intentions every morning, and still something is missing. Not because the law is broken, not because you are broken, but because nobody told you the truth about how this actually works. The law of attraction is not a method. It is not a morning routine. It is not a list of affirmations you repeat until your voice goes dry. It is something far deeper than that, far more quiet, far more certain, far more natural. And today, something inside you is going to shift. Not because I am going to teach you a new technique, but because I am going to remind you of something you already know, something your subconscious mind has always known. Here is what most people believe. They believe that if they think about something long enough, it will appear. They believe that if they say the right words in the right order, the universe will respond. They are chasing, always chasing, and that chasing, that desperate reaching, that anxious wanting is the very thing keeping them from what they desire. Because attraction does not respond to your words, it responds to your state. Read that again, slowly. Attraction does not respond to your words. It responds to your state, the energy you are carrying inside your body right now, the feeling that runs underneath your thoughts, the quiet belief that lives so deep inside you, you do not even notice it anymore. That is what is being attracted to you. That is what is going out and pulling your reality toward you. Not your vision board, not your journal, not the affirmation you said this morning, your state. And here is where most people get confused. They think the law of attraction is about getting, about acquiring, about receiving. But it is not about getting anything, it is about becoming. There is a version of you that already has what you want, not in the future, not after you work harder, not after you earn it. Right now, in this moment, there is a version of you that has already arrived, and that version does not chase. That version does not beg. That version does not anxiously refresh the page, waiting for something to change. That version is settled, calm, certain. Because that version knows something that the struggling version does not, that everything they desire is already theirs. Not as a hope, not as a wish, as a fact. Now I want you to feel something for a moment. Think about the last time you were truly relaxed, not tired, not exhausted, not collapsed, but genuinely at peace, when your shoulders were soft, when your breath was slow, when your mind was quiet, and you were not running anywhere inside your head. Remember that feeling. In that moment, you were not trying to attract anything. You were not pushing. You were not pulling. You were simply being. And I want to ask you something. In moments like that, have you ever noticed how things seem to flow more easily? How the right thought comes without effort? How the answer arrives without searching? How the conversation you needed happens without planning? That is not a coincidence, that is the law, operating exactly as it always has, responding to your state, responding to the peace inside you, not to your effort. To your peace. This is what most teachers do not say clearly enough. The law of attraction is always working. Always, not sometimes. Not only when you do the technique correctly. Always, every single moment of your life, you are attracting the energetic equivalent of what you are feeling inside. When you feel lack, you attract experiences that confirm lack. When you feel unworthy, you attract situations that confirm unworthiness. When you feel that love is hard to find, you attract evidence that proves love is hard to find, not because the universe is punishing you, but because the universe is simply reflecting you, like a mirror, a perfect, precise, completely neutral mirror. It does not judge what you show it. It does not filter what you are feeling. It simply shows you back to yourself, perfectly every time. So the question is never, how do I attract more? The question is always, who am I being right now? What am I carrying inside? What does the version of me that already has this feel like? And can I find that feeling not after it arrives, but right now, before the evidence, before the proof, before anything in the physical world changes? Can I feel it first? Because the moment you can feel it first, you have done the real work, not the work of trying. The work of becoming. There is a kind of surrender that most people are afraid of, not because it is dangerous, but because it feels like giving up. It feels like if they stop pushing, if they stop controlling, if they stop trying to force the thing into existence, that it will never come. But surrender is not giving up. Surrender is the most powerful thing you can do. Because surrender says, I trust. I trust that what is mine is already coming. I trust that my desire has already been heard. I trust that the intelligence that runs this universe, the same intelligence that grows every tree and beats every heart, is also working on my behalf. And I do not need to micromanage how it arrives. That trust. That quiet, certain, unshakable trust is the highest vibration you can hold, higher than excitement, higher than visualization, higher than any affirmation, because it is not a performance, it is real. It is the feeling of a person who knows, not hopes, not wishes, not tries, knows. You were not designed to chase your life, you were designed to live it, fully, presently, from the inside out. And the law of attraction is not asking you to become a different person. It is asking you to stop pretending to be less than who you already are, because the person who has everything you desire, the person who lives in peace, the person who moves through life with certainty, that person is not someone you have to become. That person is who you already are, underneath the doubt, underneath the fear, underneath all the years of being told that wanting things is selfish and that nothing comes easy, and that you have to earn your joy. Underneath all of that, you already know. And this video is going to remind you, not teach you, remind you of something your subconscious has never forgotten, even when you did. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for permission, waiting for someone to tell them they are ready, waiting for the circumstances to be right, waiting for the fear to go away before they move. But here is the truth: the fear does not go away. First, the certainty does not come. First, you do not wait until you feel ready. You become ready by deciding that you already are. That decision, that single quiet internal decision, is where everything begins to change. Think about what you have been doing. You have been looking at your current reality and using it as evidence of what is possible for you. You see the empty bank account and you think, this is where I am. You see the loneliness and you think, this is what my life looks like. You see the same patterns repeating and you conclude, this must be who I am. But your current reality is not the truth about you. Your current reality is just the echo of what you believed before. It is old information, it is last season's weather, and you are standing in it, deciding what tomorrow will bring. That is the mistake. Your current conditions are not your ceiling. They are your history, and your history does not have to become your future. The subconscious mind is extraordinarily powerful, not in the way people describe it in surface level talks, not as some mystical force you need to unlock with a secret technique, but powerful in this very specific, very precise way. It will always, without exception, work to confirm what you believe to be true about yourself. If you believe you are the kind of person for whom things always fall apart, it will find the evidence. If you believe you are the kind of person who is always overlooked, it will arrange your perception so that you notice every moment of being overlooked and filter out everything else. Not because it is working against you, because it is working for you. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect the story, confirm the identity, maintain the internal world you have built. This is why surface-level affirmations do not work. You cannot talk your subconscious out of a belief with a sentence. It does not trust. You have to go deeper. You have to change the story at the root. And the root is not your thoughts. The root is your sense of self. Who do you believe yourself to be? Not who do you want to be. Not who are you trying to become. Right now, in the quiet center of you, who do you believe you are? Because that belief, that core, deep, often unexamined belief, is the instruction your subconscious is following every single day, while you sleep, while you work, while you scroll, while you sit in silence trying to figure out why nothing is changing. The instruction is running and it is producing results perfectly, precisely. The results just match the instruction you did not know you were giving. This is where the shift has to happen, not in your habits, not in your schedule, not in the affirmations you say, in your identity, in the quiet answer to the question, who am I? You have to become, in your inner world, the version of you that already has what you want, not pretend, not perform, not fake it. Actually feel it. Feel what it would feel like to be that person. not as a daydream you escape into, but as a settled, calm, decided truth. The person who has the love you want, the person who has the abundance you want, the person who has the peace, the confidence, the life. What does that person feel like inside? Not on the outside. Not the car, not the house, not the title. The inside, the way they wake up, the way they move through difficulty, the way they speak to themselves when no one is listening. Find that feeling, inhabit it not once, not as an exercise, as your new baseline. Now I want to address something because someone watching this is starting to feel something shift, and at the same time, there is a voice inside that says, but what about the situation I am in right now? What about the debt, the relationship that is breaking, the health that is uncertain? What about the reality I cannot ignore? And I want to speak to that voice directly. You are not being asked to ignore your reality. You are being asked to stop letting your reality be the only thing that decides what you believe. There is a difference, a very important difference. Acknowledging where you are is wisdom. Letting where you are define the limit of where you can go, that is the trap. You can look at a difficult situation with clear eyes. You can be honest about what is happening, and still, in the same breath, hold the knowing that this is not permanent, that this is not the final word, that the story is still being written, and you, not the circumstances, hold the pen. Surrender does not mean accepting defeat. Surrender means releasing the grip of fear. It means saying, I have done what I can do. I have set my intention. I have felt the feeling. I have chosen the identity, and now I release the outcome, not with indifference, with trust, the kind of trust that a farmer has when he plants a seed. He does not dig it up every morning to check if it is growing. He does not stand over the soil demanding it to produce faster. He does not lose faith because it rained 2 days in a row. He planted it. He watered it. And he trusted the process that has been working since before he was born. You are the farmer. Your inner state is the seed. And the life you want is not somewhere far away, waiting to be discovered. It is already in the ground, already moving, already growing, in the unseen space between where you are and where you are going. Your power is not in controlling how things arrive. Your power is in deciding who you are before they arrive. Most people have this. Backwards, they wait for the thing to arrive, and then they plan to feel worthy of it. They wait for the relationship, and then they plan to feel lovable. They wait for the money, and then they plan to feel abundant. But the feeling was always supposed to come first. The feeling is the signal. The feeling is the cause. The circumstances are just the effect, and you cannot wait for the effect to produce the cause. That is not how any of this works. Cause first. Always. You, on the inside. Deciding, feeling, becoming, and then the outside has no choice but to match. This is your power, not the power to force things to happen. The power to become the version of you that those things naturally belong to. That is a different kind of power, quieter, deeper, more certain. It does not shout. It does not push. It does not beg. It simply knows. And in that knowing, everything shifts, not all at once. Sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, but always. Always in the direction of what you have decided to be. You are not a passenger in your life. You have never been a passenger. You have always been the one at the center, broadcasting a signal and receiving back exactly what that signal called in. The only difference between now and before is that now you know. You know what the signal is. You know where it comes from. You know that you have the ability, right now in this moment, to change it, not with effort, with presence, with the quiet decision to stop being the version of you that is waiting, and to start being the version of you that already knows it is on its way. You have come a long way, not just in this video, in your life. You have been searching for something. Maybe you called it success, maybe you called it love, maybe you called it peace or freedom, or just the feeling that everything is going to be okay. And that search brought you here, to this moment, to these words, to this quiet space where something inside you is beginning to remember. The law of attraction is not a secret. It never was. It is written into the fabric of how reality works. It is the reason that confident people seem to attract more reasons to be confident. It is the reason that grateful people seem to find more things to be grateful for. It is the reason that the person who expects good things tends to notice good things everywhere they look, and the person who expects disappointment finds it waiting for them around every corner. Not luck, not coincidence, not the universe playing favorites correspondence. Your inner world corresponding with your outer world, perfectly, always, without exception, and now you understand something that most people will never pause long enough to see, that the work is not outside. The work is not in the doing more, the trying harder, the pushing further. The work is in here, in the quiet space inside your chest, where your beliefs live, where your sense of self lives, where the story you tell about who you are runs on repeat, shaping every decision, every perception, every experience you call your life. That story is where the real work happens. So I want to ask you something, and I want you to sit with it, not answer quickly, not dismiss it, sit with it. What story have you been telling? Not the story you tell other people, the story you tell yourself. In the early morning before the day begins, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the space between sleeping and waking when your guard is down and the real thoughts rise to the surface. What does that story say? Does it say you are worthy? Does it say things work out for you? Does it say that what you want is not only possible but inevitable? Or does it say something quieter and darker? Something that sounds like, who am I to have this? Something that sounds like, things like that do not happen for people like me. Something that sounds like, maybe I should just be grateful for what I have and stop wanting more, if any of that sounds familiar. That is not wisdom. That is a wound. And today it begins to heal, because here is what is true about you. You are not too late. You have not missed your window. You have not made so many wrong turns that the destination is no longer available to you. Every single moment is a new point of origin. Every breath is a new beginning. Every choice to shift your inner state, however small, however quiet, however invisible to the world around you, is a new instruction going out into the field of your life. And it will be received, and it will produce results, because that is the law, not your law, not my law, the law unchanging, impartial, perfectly precise. You do not need to become someone else. That is the part that breaks people. They think transformation means abandoning who they are and constructing an entirely new person from scratch. But that is not what this is. This is remembering, this is peeling back the layers of fear and doubt and other people's opinions and years of evidence that seem to say you are less than you are, and finding underneath all of that the original you, the version of you that existed before the world told you what you were allowed to want, before someone said your dreams were too big, before disappointment taught you to expect less, before you learned to shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. That version of you, the one who knew without being told that they were worthy, that version has never left. They have been waiting, quietly, patiently, with complete certainty that you would find your way back. And this is the moment, not tomorrow. Not after you fix everything that feels broken, not after you have more proof that things can change. Now. In this moment, with exactly the life you have, and exactly the fears you carry, and exactly the uncertainty that sits in your chest, you can decide. Not hope, not wish, not try. Decide that the version of you who has what you want is not a fantasy. It is you. It has always been you. Just a layer deeper than where you have been living. I want you to feel something right now. Feel what it is like to not be chasing anything. To not be behind. To not be waiting for permission or proof or circumstances to cooperate. Feel what it is like to simply be. To be someone who trusts. To be someone who knows that their desire is already in motion. That the thing they want is already moving toward them with the same certainty that a river moves toward the sea. Not because they forced it, because they aligned with it, because they became the kind of person it naturally belongs to. Feel that, even for just a moment. Even if it feels unfamiliar, even if it feels too good to be true, let yourself feel it. Because that feeling, that exact feeling, is the signal. That is the broadcast going out, and life is already listening. The law of attraction does not ask you to be perfect. It does not ask you to never doubt again. It does not ask you to perform positivity or pretend that hard things are not hard. It asks one thing: come back to yourself. When the fear rises, come back. When the doubt speaks, come back. When the outer world looks like it is not cooperating, come back. Back to the knowing, back to the certainty, back to the version of you who does not need external proof to feel internally settled. That is the practice, not a morning routine, not an affirmation schedule, the practice of returning, again and again, to who you really are. Because who you really are is not someone who struggles to attract good things. Who you really are is someone for whom good things are natural, expected, normal, inevitable. That is your true identity, not the identity built from fear, not the identity constructed from other people's limitations. The one underneath, the real one, the one that has been trying to surface through every desire you have ever felt. Every desire is a message from that deeper self saying, this is who you are, this is what belongs to you, this is what you came here to experience, and the only thing that ever stood between you and that experience was the story. Change the story. Not with force, with gentleness, with the same patience you would offer someone you love deeply. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you believe in completely, because you are that person. You have always been that person, and from this moment, the signal you send changes. Not because everything in your life has changed yet, but because you have on the inside, in the place that matters, in the place where all of it begins. The law of attraction is working right now. It has never stopped. The only question was whether you were directing it consciously or letting it run on old programming. Now you know, now you choose. And that choice, that quiet, certain, unshakable choice to be the version of you that already lives the life you want, is the most powerful thing you have ever done. Not loud, not dramatic, not seen by anyone else. Just you in here deciding and the universe already responding.